Hey there friend, it's been a while. How have you been? We've had, I'm not even exaggerating, 3 weeks of rain. So to be out in the sun now and getting ready to plant all these plants that are pretty drowned from being out in this box for 3 weeks is pretty exciting. So the thing we're going to explore today is if growing your own food actually saves money. There's a lot of initial investment involved, and I guess it can seem like you're not really getting in front when you're doing that initial investment. But from experience, I've found that it does definitely save money, especially if you're trying to buy organic food and you want to eat organic, and your food just stays fresher for longer. So join me as I pot up all these plants and see what they are. I think Pirate's going to get involved too. Hey Pirate! Does that smell good? Yeah? You can see that, oof! I'm trying to get out of the sun for these angles, which is unlike me. I'm normally always trying to chase the sun. I have found a problem with this vertical planter in that it is creating a bit of a mosquito pit down here. So I will empty that, dry it out, and then drill some holes through there so that's not a long-term problem. Hopefully that won't affect the structural integrity of it too much, because this thing is a little bit flimsy, but we'll see. Okay, join me as I plant things up. So I've got these little beauties ready to go in. I've got some lovely herbs and lettuces that I got from our local independent nursery, the New Leaf Nursery. All these plants here cost me $68. You can see that there's a lot of food, there's a lot of plants in there. Normally I would soak these in water before planting them out, but with all the rain that we've had, it's not necessary. The problem that I'm more than likely going to have is that I've put too much soil in here. So this is seed raising mix that I've had in here, and a bag of that was $20 for a really good quality seed raising mix as well. I think it was a 40-litre bag. And you can see that by purchasing the plants, you also don't need to purchase that much soil because they come with their soil already. I'm figuring this out with you as I go, because the majority of the gardening that I have done has been in my raised garden beds, and now in this new place I'm chasing the sun, so trying pots on wheels. How good does this fennel look? This is beautiful. Squeeze it out, give it a little jiggle jiggle. And I am going to put all these labels in here so that everyone knows what we've got planted. The kids are still learning how to identify some of these plants, and our friends know that they're always welcome to come and harvest our herbs when they need something. This fennel smells so good. Can you hear all those lorikeets in the background? They're loving the break in all the rain too. A bit of sunshine. Then I'm going to put things like this thyme on the bottom. It's more of a ground dwelling plant. Again, give the pot a bit of a squeeze. And be careful not to be pulling the plant too hard and disturbing those roots and pulling the leaves off. So just give a gentle squeeze out. Now this is lemon thyme. I haven't been able to find this one for ages. I had it growing in my old vegetable garden, and it's a really lovely variant to have. And I've just had a change of thought that because we are so short on sun, I am going to put these tags out the back so that they're not blocking any of the sunshine. So this one here is dill, and this is why it's a good reason to have the labels on. So to the untrained eye, dill and fennel look very, very similar. But if you look at the leaves closer, the fennel's just got like one shoot and the dill's got multiple shoots. So I'm deliberately going to space out that dill and fennel to try and avoid some confusion. Oh, it feels so good having my hands in soil again. It's been too long. This dill is pretty happy in this pot. Come on now, don't be silly. Come out of there. see she is a little bit popped out there. This lettuce is asking to be planted out already. So let's pop her in here. I think I might put more than one lettuce in this one here. These are pretty drowned, aren't they, Pirate? Yeah. Am I doing an okay job? Yeah, you approve? Does it smell good? Okay, now let's plan this out a little bit now. Let's chamomile in here. Excuse me, mister. Echinacea. Hopefully I'll get some flowers out of this one. The one that we left at Waterview Street was just starting to flower. And chives here. Actually, I might put the chives down there a bit lower. And this pizza time. Okay, we'll do a rotation in a minute. I don't know if echinacea is okay for dogs. I'll have to... don't eat the lettuce. We'll have to check if echinacea is safe for you. I don't know. Excuse me, let's try not to get all dirty. It'll be time to go inside soon. Can you try not to get dirt on your head, please, little man? No, don't eat the soil. You knocked over my spade. Does that smell good? Does the thyme smell good? I've got a lot of time for you too, Pirate. You're not really helping there, little man. Excuse me, don't eat the lettuce. So what I love about buying seedlings from my local independent nursery, so New Leaf Nursery, you can get the single plugs and choose whatever you want. The only thing is that you actually need to remember what you've bought. So if you're not great at remembering or you're still learning all the plants, just take a photo so you know what it is. This one here is baby spinach. I'm looking forward to having it right near the kitchen door so that I can just throw it into my eggs in the morning. That said, our chickens have been hating the rain as much as I have, and they haven't started laying eggs yet either. So that makes it sound like I'm going to lay some eggs, doesn't it? It's an interesting way of constructing a sentence. All this rain's turned my brain to mush. I think it has. No. No, that's my parsley. Okay, if you want some, you have to ask nicely for it. This is your your parsley? Yes. Your parsley. Is it yummy? You like it? Okay, there's your chives. Again, nice and close to the kitchen window to grow my eggs. No of your own harvesting. No. You definitely can't have those. They're part of the onion family, and onion isn't good for dogs. Now, normally I would water everything in. But this soil and these plants are so wet that I'm going to skip that stage today. And it's more than likely going to rain again tomorrow. I'm going to do an experiment of just putting one lettuce in this plug and see if it thrives by not being crowded. Feel like, yep, there's a pot over here. Chamomile. If I can grow my own chamomile tea again, I will be a very happy lady. Something tells me the lady who bought my amazing veggie garden is probably not enjoying the chamomile tea out of it, sadly. Grow, chamomile, grow. And that leaves me with 1, 2, 3 more lettuce plugs. Now I'm going to take these last remaining 2, because there's no space for them in this vertical planter, and put them over in my water ups pot. I might wash my hands before I touch all my stuff as well. Alright, so we've got a whole heap of those seedlings in. So let's talk about the costs. First up, there's the initial investment. So when you first start your backyard garden, urban farm, homesteading, whatever you want to call it, there are some upfront costs. So garden beds or pots, whatever works for you. The best garden soil you can afford. So potting mix, in this case I've used seed raising mix because it's lighter for this vertical planter. You want to get a great compost if you're doing raised beds. And then there's things like seeds and seedlings and basic tools. I use this shovel for pretty much everything if you haven't seen me using it on other things. So all of these seedlings that I've just planted cost me $68 from my local independent nursery. So as I was saying before, you've got the benefit there of being able to buy one plug of a particular thing. So I've got a few different varieties of lettuces. This means you don't have to commit to 6 of the same plants, which is really helpful if you're working with limited space and a budget. So if I started these plants from seeds, it would be even cheaper, but that takes more time. Back to the question, does growing your own food save money? So these lettuces here, they're only tiny at the moment, but in about 3 weeks, I'm guessing, they should be ready to harvest. And what we can do is just pick a few leaves and then they keep growing. So what would normally cost you $5 in the shops to buy, and it would go off in the fridge for most people or end up in the bin, you can just keep harvesting and have really fresh lettuce all the time. So with all these herbs, so it cost me roughly $3 a pot to buy one of these herb plants, and then we just keep cutting them all the time. In our supermarkets at the moment, to buy a bunch of herbs, it's $5. So you can see that this is for the long game, definitely in front, and you're eating better. You've also got the fun of going out and shopping your own backyard. So I'm really looking forward to spring coming around and my big raised garden bed being much more successful once the sun's in the right spot again. Hopefully I can wheel this around every couple of days, and the sun, which is here for most of the day in winter, will grow me some nice yummy food. And it's just experimenting, having fun. There's really nothing much to lose, and if you grow from seed, it's even cheaper. So give growing your own food a try. Let me know what works well for you. If you're having great successes with anything, what's being a challenge. There's certain things that I won't bother trying to grow. So I haven't bothered with a full-size tomato for years and years and years, because they've always just gotten hit by bugs and birds and possums here, whereas cherry tomatoes I've had a lot of success with and we all love them. So there's just little things like that. Let me know how you're going. Happy gardening. Thanks for joining me. It'd be great to see you again soon. This tiny baby spinach here is not doing much at all, is it? And that single pea is stuck in dormancy, I reckon. Oh, here's some more. It needs some sunshine. Baby spinach seedlings are coming along. doesn't look like any of those flowers I planted are. Chilly in the middle of winter. It's unexpected. Ooh. Is that a lemon up there? It looks like a lemon. Hello. Hello, beautiful girl. So whilst my vegetable garden isn't thriving, this succulent garden in what we call our entertainment and relaxing space is growing beautifully. If it was just my garden, this is where the veggies would be, but this is my husband's and my home, and he does not want to be looking at my productive garden. So the plan is to slowly sneak some lettuces and things in here and see what they look like. So, can growing vegetables in your own garden be cheaper than going to the supermarket? Of course it can. At first it's not going to feel like it, but if you compare it to going to the supermarket, spending $100 on one meal, which is pretty easy these days, or going to the nursery shop, getting a few seedlings, a pot if you don't have a garden, and some seed raising mix, and just planting up a few things, it's going to be pretty comparable. And you're only going to get to eat those things that you buy from the grocery store once. Whereas a lot of the things that you plant in the garden that you can continue to harvest. As you get more confident, you can also start saving your own seeds, and that makes the process even cheaper. What I found in my old garden was that a lot of seeds just self-seeded. So it depends what setup you have and how much control you choose to have, but you can definitely make it much cheaper. Not to mention that there's a lot more return on the investment. There's that mental health, there's eating healthier, and you know what's going into your food. You can easily eat organic, much cheaper, and going out in your garden and just enjoying it is so good for the soul. So I'm sitting out here in our native garden. When we first bought this house, this was just grass. All that space was grass, and we've turned it into a little native garden, and now we have lizards coming into the wall here, and bees visiting and birds visiting. So don't just look at your vegetable garden as another chore. Look at it as a return to yourself and to Mother Nature. So my tips for saving when you're growing your own vegetables is always, one, start small. You can start with one pot of herbs, see how you go, keep it alive, just trim it. You know, if it's chives for your eggs, if it's basil to throw over your pasta, start with one on the windowsill. See how you go with that, and more than likely you will then be an addicted crazy plant person. Two, grow what you eat. If you don't like eating broccoli, don't grow broccoli. The best thing to start with, in my opinion, is snow peas, because the majority of people love snow peas and they grow really quickly. When you pick them off the bush, nothing tastes like it. It's just so crisp and delicious. And the more you pick, the more they produce. So start with snow peas after your herbs. And another really easy thing to grow is lettuces. So you've seen I've just planted all of those. You can plant them from seed really easily. Lettuce seeds germinate pretty quickly. We like to eat tomatoes, so throughout summer we'll have multiple tomato plants growing. In the old house, I thought there were cheeky possums coming and eating our tomatoes, and I was a little bit cross about that. Until one morning I saw the king parrots enjoying them, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, hey guys, you can share my tomatoes. So it's always good to plant out more if you can, to share it with everything, or if not, cover it with some sort of cloth or bottle or something like that, so that you're not sharing it with nature if you don't have enough to share. What are your thoughts? Have you found that you've been growing your vegetables lately and saving money, or is it something that you want to give a try? Let me know in the comments, and please subscribe so that we can go on this journey together. I'll see you next time. Number 3, compost as much as you can. So we don't want to be sending stuff to landfill, and you can make that compost at home really easily with a tiny worm farm, and then that will give great nutrients back to your food and help you grow more delicious food. So we're closing that cycle, reducing the food miles, reducing food waste. It's all the good things. Shopping from the vegetable garden in our old house was my favourite kind of shopping and one of my favourite things to do. So I'm striving to be able to do that again here. It is taking a bit longer than I hoped, but persistence is key. This is where the bees visit. And this is where the birds visit. The native violets are starting to flower. So this was all just grass. I've created some sunbaking spots for lizards, some food for the birds and insects. And what was once just a pit for ants and cockroaches with nothing but viburnum bushes and grass is slowly becoming a home for everyone that lives here. And this is my favourite lizard wall. I often come and sit here with the lizards and have my lunch on my work from home days.